Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 70 of Six Figure Live. Let me get you guys dialed in here on my phone so I can see comments come in. Happy Monday, everybody! This is a great Monday. I am a little bit in scrubs, although I look relatively the same to how I normally look. We were helping Ben Adams. He was painting his house, and so the Style Story creative team took the day and went to help him paint his house. And I just hopped over here to make sure I could get live with you guys here today for a minute. So here we go. You guys, let me get my phone all set up here so I can see things come through. Perfect. I got it. What is up, Nate? How's it going, man? Okay, you guys, super cool. We are in. Look, if this is your first time joining Six Figure Live, there's all kinds of reasons why I do it to help you guys out, to help grow your business. But really, I mean, one of the main reasons is it just gives me the ability to be super candid and authentic and real with you guys, to bring you behind the scenes at the Style and Story Creative Office. That's where we're at today. And as well, to give us some sort of interaction. Like, I normally only get to connect with you guys and talk when we're at workshops or coaching, mentoring. And this is just a way to say what's up. So, like, for example, Ryan Duggar, what's up, my man? Mike, what's up, dude? Like this is really cool. I love that I get to do that. And you guys can, like, say things. You can be like, what's up, Ben? So anyhow, that's why I love doing these. We're on episode 70, and then my hope is just that I help you guys out in any way, shape, or form, provide some sort of value. So here's the deal. I want to jump in and today's episode might be a little bit short, but that's okay. For starters, Jacob, what's up, my man? For starters, last Friday we did Q&A Friday. Q&A Friday happens every Friday. It's just a chance for me to answer really specific questions that you guys have. And I got a question. And two things happened. One is I kind of bombed a little bit because I was mistaken about the interpretation of a comment that was made during it. But also, I don't think I answered the question as well as I could have. And so I wanted to come back on and do a full dedicated episode to this question. And so that's what we're doing. In the meantime, who shot this Saturday? Did anybody shoot last Saturday? It was amazing, gorgeous weather, you guys. I hope you guys are out there shooting. I actually did not, believe it or not. I was working on my little girl. She's going to be 2. And so we were getting her birthday party all set up. But anyhow, okay, let's jump in, you guys. Like I said, a question was asked. This question was asked by Jake. Jake McAnally. Hopefully I pronounced his name properly. But anyhow, Jake asked a question. It was a question about getting shit done. It was a question about the reality that he faced, and so many of us face, where we're working a full-time job, and we have commutes that are taking place. We have a family to take care of. For some of us, it's just a wife or even a girlfriend, whatever it may be, boyfriend. But then many of us have kids involved, and then when those kids get old enough, when you start having to attend games and everything else in between, and on top of it, Christy, I'm so glad that you had a family session. That's awesome, Christy. But then on top of it, there's all the other stuff that you have to do as a business owner, not just photography related, but to like all of the marketing, the communication, advertising. I mean, the list goes on and on and on in terms of actually like managing your business. And so I understand that the task is daunting. And now I don't think my answer was wrong that I gave, but I think it wasn't what maybe you guys were looking for, because I still stand behind my answer. I think my answer is one that I think that we waste a lot of time as people. I think that there's all kinds of things that we decide to make time for that don't matter. They don't matter at all. And then we look at the end of the week and we're like, man, where'd all the time go? And we just waste it. So often we're wasting it here or on Netflix or on our other video game. Like, just there's all kinds of stuff that we could be doing to be saving time, as well. Just the pure fact of getting up earlier or staying up later and dedicating an hour in the morning each day to making sure that your business continues to grow. I think a lot of times it's the easy things like that. And yet, I'm going to go back. I'm going to go back and I'm going to give a few more practical bits of information that I've used to help grow my business, because I was in the same situation as you guys. I'm married, trying to manage a new marriage, actually. Not new marriage as in like it was like number 2. A new marriage as in it was like year 1 of first marriage. So anyhow, managing that, and then as well working a full-time job, and then trying to grow my business with a half-hour commute to work there and back every day. Anyhow, so I get it. So here we go. one of the things that you can do is start thinking about batch processing the tasks that you have to accomplish in a day. And so as we're talking about batch processing, this is often, as photographers, we think about batching as in like batch editing, but really start to wrap your head around all of the tasks that you can batch and how much time that will save. And so one of the most common things that we have to handle is client communication. So emails. My advice is to batch all of your emails at one point in time during the day and have that time not be first thing in the morning, okay? And there, I'll explain why in a minute. So one of my favorite things to do is to batch edit emails, to do like a solid 1 hour just dedicated to as many emails that I can get through in a certain time. And I'll do this later in the day, maybe between 4 and 5. The reason why I don't advise to getting into your inbox first thing in the morning is two things start to occur. One is you'll address a problem, you'll address an issue, you'll put a fire out at 8 a.m., and that person sees it and gets around to it, and then they shoot you an email right back by 11, and now your inbox is no further along. I actually really like to push things out a little bit later so that a response won't just immediately bounce right back to me and just put me in another situation where I continue to get buried back on top. And when you do it a little bit later, you're not so tempted then to feel that need to go and rush to go get to it right away. So batch your emails, batch process those. One of my favorite tools for emails is in Google, in Gmail, canned responses. You can go and enable this, and if you click on the little gear, there's a settings called canned responses, and you can save pre-made emails out that are for commonly answered questions or common things you email, and then you can customize it from there. And so if you find yourself always answering the same thing over and over and over, create a canned response. This is way faster actually than even just like having some notebook of emails that you're copying and pasting over. It's all right inside of Gmail. So that'd be one. Another one too, editing. Obviously editing, you guys. There's so many amazing tools. I have an entire Lightroom editing course, and I talk about the distinction between like portfolio editing, like one-off portfolio images that you're going to be putting up on Facebook or your website, and then batch editing, and all kinds of techniques with that in regards to like auto sync, especially using Lightroom's abilities for that. And so batch editing, as well, batch phone calls. Like if I'm going to do phone calls, I will set aside a block. It'll be an hour-long block. And that's literally all that I'll do, As soon as you start resetting your brain and you do an email and then you do a phone call and then you do some editing, your brain has to reset and re-ramp up and you lose time. Okay. Let's keep going. Emily, what's up, girl? Thanks for joining. By the way, if you're watching from YouTube, I'm starting to upload these on YouTube. And so all my YouTube peeps, what's up? If you want to actually watch these live, get in on this live. It's taking place over at Six Figure Photography on Facebook. That's where you guys can see it live, by the way. Okay, cool. Let's keep going. Another thing that you can do to save time is through automation. And so the canned responses that I talked about, it's like partial automation, but I'm talking about like automated emails, automated sequences based off of certain triggers that take place. Because when you have, for example, I'm a wedding photographer, right? And so like 3 months before the wedding, I'm going to want to send out a scheduling tips email to help our couples begin to think about scheduling the day, and a questionnaire that accompanies that. If I have to remind myself to manually send that out every time, it's going to put me in a pickle and I'm just going to end up wasting time. So we use Tave. Tave allows us to automate so many things. It allows you to automate email sequences, questionnaire sequences, contract sequences, payment reminders, all this stuff. You can create your own custom setup to automate with inside of Tave. And Tave has saved so much time in our business. So much time has been saved there. So Tave is another one. Let me pull this up here. I've got a coupon code that you guys can use. And it's pretty sweet. I'm pretty sure it's just Six Figure Photography, all capitals. And let me just make sure that that's the correct one for you guys, because that will get you an extra 2 months, and it will get you 20% off. But let me just make sure I have the correct one. Okay. Sponsors. Let me see here. Gotta find this. Okay, cool. Yeah, it's Six Figure Photography, all capitals, 20% off, and it'll get you an extra month. I'll drop a link there for you guys. Okay, so Tave, whether you use Tave, there's a bunch of them. Tave is the one that I use and that I prefer. And the reason I prefer Tave is because of the fact that I can customize the automations. I can customize it for my type of business. For example, we have 3 photographers. You might just be you, or just you and your husband or wife team. And so, anyhow, next thing you can do is use self-control apps. I talk a lot about like, hey, don't waste your time on your phone. Don't waste your time on Facebook. Don't waste your time on Netflix, yada, yada, yada. And that sometimes is easier said than done. I understand that. There's a lot of apps that are out there that you can use to help in this situation. One is called Rescue Time. If you do a simple Google for like time-saving apps, you're going to get a list of options that will literally block you out from certain websites that you find yourself wasting a lot of time on. And here's the deal. This might sound like harsh. This might sound like, man, wow, that's like you're going to block yourself from Facebook. That seems like a little like intense. And like, yeah, it is, because I actually give a damn. I give a damn about my business, and I need this time. I recognize logically that I'm wasting my time doing this other stuff, and yet I can't help but go back to it. And so it is intense, but the outcome is so worth it. Okay, another thing that you can do just in general, by the way, Mike says Tave is the bee's knees. Dude, Mike, I'm so glad that you're digging it, man. I freaking love Tave. Okay, so here's another reason why I love Tave, by the way. They're always continuing to innovate. I used to be on another platform. No, I won't drop a name here. You could probably find me, drop a name in a blog post. But I used to be on another platform, and it was the most stagnant thing ever. Like, technology just kept improving, and they went nowhere with their software. Tave just continues to get better and get better and get better, and they're always listening, and they're always trying to figure out what news to improve. Okay, sorry, just being real. Tave has no clue that I'm doing this. Okay, cool. So anyhow, another thing you can do, Jake, use money to buy back time, especially for those people who are working full-time jobs. Look, if you're working a full-time job and then on top of that you're shooting, 10 weddings a year, 5 weddings a year, I don't care what it is, that's money, man. You've got your income, you've got your salary with your 40-hour-a-week job, right? And so you can use this money to buy back time. Okay. One of the ways that you can do this is through editing, right? Like, you can hire an editor. My guess is they'll probably even be better, right? There's so many people that are better at a lot of tasks that we try to take on as photographers, as creatives, as artists, and as entrepreneurs, that we think that we have to be in charge of, and we don't. And so, for example, Shoot.Edit, right? So we use Shoot.Edit to get our images to a place that for us, then we just need to put the finishing touch on, right? One tip as you're beginning to work through it with an editor, if you're going to work with an editor one-to-one locally in your area, my encouragement is find someone that can learn your exact style, do every image all the way to the end, and you can really work on finessing that with, right? But if you're going to start working with a larger company, Shoot.Edit, for example, manage your expectations. Understand that it's going to be really hard for them to get the image to like the perfect end result, right? But the time that gets saved from getting the image from like straight out of camera to a normalized exposure, white balance, color, that kind of stuff, it gives you the ability then, as long as you understand how to craft your preset, to just simply apply your preset on top of that to get that finishing touch, that finalized look. So just understand that, right? So anyhow, you can buy back time. You can buy back time with editing. Let's talk about then just like sheer enjoyment. You guys, you can buy back time by getting Hulu Plus, right? If you still want to watch your shows, I get it. I won't dog on you too hard, but like then just effing get Hulu Plus that there's no commercials on it, right? Don't waste your time watching commercials on TV. So Hulu Plus, let's keep getting practical, because I think so often we're just thinking about our business and we're not thinking about all the other things in our life that end up sucking time. So let's stay practical. Hire someone to mow your damn yard, right? Like, this is for real. If you need time to start emailing couples, if you need time for marketing and phone calls, hire a kid to mow your yard. We're about to hit winter here. Hire someone to shovel your driveway. Like, and then be intentional about that time, right? Be intentional about it. Another thing that you could do is hire a virtual assistant to handle your emails. We have been fortunate enough to hire an in-house office manager, and that might not be where you're at, and I understand that. But one thing that you could do, Scott, what's up, man? One thing that you could do is hire a virtual assistant to help with email management, okay? I've used a VA for a couple years. A virtual assistant is literally literally just it's another human who's on the other. I mean, they could be down the street, they could be across the country. It doesn't matter where they're at, but they're there virtually helping you manage whatever it is that you need them to manage. And so maybe that's emails, maybe that's some client communication stuff. We used a virtual staff finder to find our VA when we had one. We no longer do, but that's what we used during the time. But this is something that I think emails get so daunting for so many photographers, and there's a lot that you could do in regards to that. So, man, I hope some of these tips were like with maybe a little bit more of what you were looking for in regards to really practical things that you can start to do to find time, to buy back time. And my next piece of advice is this. Be very, man, how do I word this? When time frees up, let's say that you have a meeting scheduled, right? You have a meeting scheduled with a couple and then they cancel, right? My encouragement is this, be like, guard that time. Like, don't waste it, because I think for so many of us, and I'm talking to myself, by the way, you guys, when I go off on these rants and I start being really passionate, I start kind of feeling like I'm yelling at you guys, I'm also yelling at myself. I'm trying to remind myself of this stuff. When that meeting gets canceled, what's the first thing that we want to do? We want to view that as now like free time, you know, that now we can go and we can go play ping pong right over there, right? I could hop on my phone and get another round of my game or whatever it may be. Go and check out Instagram stories. I don't know. And now instead, like, view that time as sweet. Now I've got 30 more minutes. I've got an hour. I've got 2 more hours that I can now take to start growing my business for 2017. Just like really view that time as something that is sacred and valued. And when those moments happen, because I see them happen. I see the openings just like come out of nowhere, and then we go and we waste it. And so anyhow, you guys, thanks for hanging out. I just want to come back and help Jake out a little bit more and do justice, I think, to everyone out there. And again, though, man, like, don't sweat or like don't underestimate how much your own desire, your own hustle, your own want for your business to succeed. Don't underestimate that. When you really want this, when you really freaking want to be booked up for 2017, when you can't help but be thinking about marketing and growing your business, all that kind of stuff, you're going to get up an hour early. You're going to get up at 4:30 in the morning and you're going to make it happen. That's what it comes down to. You guys, thank you so much for hanging out. Tomorrow's episode 71. I'm stoked about that. If you find value in this, share it out. Put this thing on blast. Thanks again, you guys. Thank you so much for your support, for your care. I'm working on some finishing touches for some things. Can I just say something too, by the way? I'm going to be like continually showing up and serving you guys and doing these live videos and doing the podcast and emailing you guys when you have questions and providing answers for you guys. I'm just going to keep giving left and right and center, right? Give. But I just want you to know, eventually, I'm going to have something that I'm going to sell. And I just want to let you know that as a very matter of fact. Like, I'm not going to try to hide it when the time comes. It's going to be like, hey, this costs a lot of money to make all this stuff happen and time. And I'm going to eventually put something out there and be like, do you guys want this? And so I just figured I'd be super candid about that now, right? So that's what I'm working on. There's some stuff going on, but I just appreciate you guys. So thanks for your support. Thanks for your love. Thanks for showing up every day and listening to this stuff. Keep hustling, keep working hard. And let's make 2017 like so freaking good. So freaking good. Not just for you guys, but for your families, right? And for your clients. Man, it's for your clients. All right, we'll talk soon. Bye, everybody.